has gotten to a point to where, we see a lot of people's successes, right? In the good
All right.
moments. Usually something's happening when someone disappears from social media, especially if they heavy social media person, they disappear for a minute, whether, whatever may have been happening, but something's happening, they're working on something. It could be some great stuff they're working on, but they're going through the actions of getting to that, of that shiny picture, that picture moment.
Life can be beautiful if you let it.
In the bowl.
Yo, 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 what do you know? Welcome to In the Bowl podcast. Shout out to Hustle Five Ways for hosting, as always. I'm your host, Nas.
You got all, man, live from Dubai.
As always, In the Bowl podcast is sponsored by your nation's own #1 mobile hookah provider, where they not only provide hookah for private events, but they do retail, distribution, wholesale, and they also take that experience to that next level. What's happening? What's going on?
What is going on, man? Another episode, another week.
Another week, another week, another week. Life is good. Life is good. Prepping for this vacay, trying to just relax, taking the fam out. We're gonna do something different, man. It's funny because everyone keeps asking. Yeah, we're about to go across the ocean actually, and people keep asking me how you gonna go. So it's just gonna be us three. And yeah, we taking a little one overseas, and they're like, "Damn, she got a passport already." I'm like, "You had to, man. I feel like getting these little ones, exposed early, is beneficial. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying, to that growth process. So we excited about that. You're super excited about that.
I like it. I like it. Where y'all heading to?
So we're going to Italy. We're going to Italy. We're going to this little spot called Lecce.
Okay.
It's on the back side of the boot. It's on the I guess for us it'd be more the eastern side of it. Um, so yeah, it should be really interesting. A really remote, quaint little area. You know what I'm saying? An area that you probably want to go too often, but we're going to a wedding out there, and
Okay.
it's just like a journey to get out there. You know what I'm saying? It's like she gonna get the full countryside experience. You know what I'm saying? Flight,
Yeah.
flight. It's still up in the air whether we want to, really expose to the train side, and so she can see really the mountains and what that looks like, and or we just go with the driver and get us from point A to point B. But I think this trip right here is the wedding is big. It's a lovely occasion, seeing the union together. You know, um, but for me, it's just being able to take this little one to just to see what the world has to offer, not just because she's so small. Right now the world's so big, and I want her to see that at an early
Exactly.
stage. I want her to see it at an early stage, and shoot, she probably have more stamps than that. You know what I'm saying? She just collecting stamps in the book. So
I like
that's
it.
kind of where we at. That's where we at. What's up with you?
Not too much. Prepping for a European trip myself. Gotta head to France for a week. So
Okay.
take care of some stuff out there, and you know, I I've been going back and forth with a question, because we're foodies,
Yeah.
so I've been racking my brain to try to figure out what France is known for. Outside of back in the day in high school and home ec, the day we made crepes, which was it was a very unfulfilling situation, and I say that because I call myself the slim fat boy,
Mm-hmm.
and crepes are paper thin, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
skipping lunch because I'm waiting to get to home ec, and I ate like two or three of them, and I'm like, yeah, I'm still hungry. We're gonna fry some eggs or something with this. I mean, we need some sides, because the crepe wasn't
Facts,
getting it done.
facts, facts,
I'm
facts, facts.
like, this is
Home
a
ec was
nice
that shit.
appetizer.
Home ec used to be that shit. That used to be like another gym class. You know what I'm
Exactly,
saying? Nah, but yeah, I don't know. France, I mean, aren't they? They're known for their bread, their pastries. You know, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know fully what they're known for, but I feel like that part of the world I think is good for just to know what else is out there. But I don't know. I've never really been like the biggest like you know France, Paris, and Italy thing. I think they're cool. It's romantic areas and stuff like that. But I've never been like, oh damn, man, I got to go to this area. But they always say it's always about also who you're with too.
yeah,
You know what
that's
I'm
true.
saying? It may
Yeah,
not be the may
yeah,
not be the place or the event that you're going to, but who you're with, or. And that plays a big part into the experience and the enjoyment, fulfillment of whatever trip or location you go to. Because you can go to a party space and you got a square with you, you'd be like, come on, man, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if it's if you and your travel folks is what I'm saying, y'all equally yoked and down for experiences, then it could be a wonderful time.
yeah.
You
I
know,
agree because definitely gonna try to find something out there because, like I said, I mean, crepes weren't getting it done. Pastries are cool. I'm trying to get beyond the finger foods. I'm trying to get something that you can sit back and have a glass
enjoy.
of wine and be like, yeah, that was a solid meal right there. Definitely got to, tell folks about this one. Or definitely got to run that one back again. But, we'll see. I mean, at least, th- this time of year, the weather is decent, because I'm
Yeah.
definitely not a cold weather advocate, so the weather is mild. So, I'll take it, because
Yeah.
the whole reason I moved out here to the sandbox was the climate change.
Yeah.
If I don't see anything below, 50 degrees, for next couple of years, I'm truly content. There's no need for me to
Mm.
put on a big coat or see precipitation, falling from the sky of the frozen kind. That's not what I'm here for right now. I've done my time in the cold weather. Now it's time to soak up some sun, keep that year-round tan.
Mm. Most motherfuckers go down south for changing temperature. My man flew to the sandbox. I feel you on that, and that's what sometimes you need to do, right? It's change is always good. Change is always
Exactly.
good. You know what I'm saying? To test that limit of where you're at and get
Exactly.
exposed to different shit, man. That's I think that's the name of the game. You always want to try something new.
Oh, you got to. I mean, life is all about new experiences and create memories. If you're not doing that, then, in my opinion, if you're not having new experiences, and you're not taking full advantage of this life. Because life is too short. If anything, we've
Yeah,
learned through the pandemic that I mean, you gotta cherish each day. You don't want
yeah.
to have that list of things you could have done, should have did, would have did. You kind of want to go with the flow and get those experiences in, man.
So I wanna challenge the listeners out there. Drop in the comments, let us know of what was your best experience in, France or Italy, or some of your favorite places that you have been, or even a place that you have been that could have been amazing, and tell us a story about, how whoever you were with, whether it was a group, whether you whatever it may have been, whether you were on a, an extremely expensive date, whatever you wanted to be on, let us know what that experience was and how they made it, or what could have made that experience better and how they made it bad. Drop that in the comments.
And also, if you have a go-to shisha spot, in Paris, definitely let us know because that will be within the first 24 hours in country. Gotta get some shisha. And would hate to waste time experimenting. If you got a spot out there that is a go-to and it's clutch and you highly recommend, definitely let us know. We'll be greatly appreciated.
Definitely. That's for Italy as well. Definitely want to know about that because, as you know what I'm saying? We, as you can see, we definitely versed in the hookah world, and we want to try it in different workplaces, different countries, different areas, and we collect souvenirs. So maybe we stop by that spot that you suggest, and we'll post that and give you a shout out and say thank you.
Exactly. I know lately I've been coming across a lot of Turkish spots.
Mm-hmm.
Smoking Turkish shisha, which is it's cool because it's a little stronger. I mean, you can tell, once you open the package up, the presentation of it, that it's definitely a different type of tobacco, and that's one of the things that I like about seeing different areas and regions with not only what they're doing with the different hookahs because there are some innovative hookahs out there, but just trying out the different tobacco and seeing how it hits different. So I know a while back, I talked about the Russian shisha that I had. I'm still
Mm-hmm.
trying to find some of that for home use.
Yeah.
But the Turkish shisha has not let me down. It's been enjoyable. It's a little on the stronger side. I definitely like that shisha that after the first two or three pulls, I feel like somebody then hit you upside your head or something. That's the good stuff. That's when when you're smoking right there. When you get ready to stand up, and you have to talk yourself into, okay, I'm about to stand up. You got to get
Um,
yourself mentally prepared. you know,
motivation. There you go.
exactly. You can't just make sudden movements. You gotta prepare yourself. You gotta talk to your legs, talk to your feet, because like how you sit for too long. You get up and you may have that leg or that foot that went to sleep, and then now you feel like you're walking funny, you're dragging a leg. I need that when I smoke shisha. I need it to be impactful, in
Yeah,
flavor
man.
and potency.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. It's funny, man. I remember when I was younger, in my younger days, man, I was sitting down and we was coming back from a game, and we was all piled up in the back of the truck, kind of situation. And and I didn't realize. I guess my foot, and my body just fell asleep while I was sitting there. I tried to step out. I felt like I had no foot. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I had a nub. I was like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? So we've all been there. You gotta motivate yourself, get your body like, all right, take that breath. I'm about to get up. We've all been there.
Exactly, exactly. So what else has been going on this week?
Not much, man. Before we do this, we gotta do our toast. You know what I'm saying? To another one,
Indeed,
as
another
always,
one,
as
another
always.
week, another show.
And I see you got a different cup, different time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna let them folks know. For those who watch us, I do wash my cup out every week. It's my go-to cup. So don't think I just be letting the different flavors. You know what I'm saying? The room in my sort of build up on my cup. So, but
I'm
yeah,
glad you
man.
said that because most folks think that your cup is like that cast iron skillet, man. That you
You
just
can't talk
rinsing it
about
out.
you can't talk about a cast iron. It's crazy because they even tell you for a cast iron, they be like, you gotta your cast iron straight when you got certain layers on it. You can
Oh yeah,
judge whatever you want to, but the cast iron, that's what it's made for. It's to capture all the stuff you cooked in it, and it continues to give it the flavor. They say you even gotta, even when you get a cast iron, you gotta kind of scruff it up a little bit, so that you can so it starts really doing what it's supposed to do. Because when you first get it, got that little film on it. You gotta You gotta wash it, you gotta scrub it, you gotta do the whole shebang. And once that, you're ready to
Exactly.
rock and roll. So
You got to season that thing.
there you go, season. That's what I was looking for. You gotta season that thing. So prime, season that thing, the whole thing. So you gotta. But yeah, I just want to let y'all know. I wash my cup out. Don't worry about that.
See, they came here for hookah talk, and we're sitting here giving them that culinary aspect of things. That just shows you how versatile we are.
That's what we do. When you have a hookah, there's probably something around. So that's what we do. That's what we do.
Yes,
So,
indeed. Yes, indeed.
so
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I had a couple folks over, this week, and fired up the grill. Got a nice butcher,
mm,
around the corner, man. And it's almost like when you go get a tailored suit, and the
mm-hmm,
suit is fit to your specifications. It's
yeah,
hard to buy off the rack again, and that's how I'm starting to
right,
feel with my proteins. It's hard to buy prepackaged. I want to walk in there like, yeah, I want 2 kgs of this. I want a kg and a half of that. But man, cook some lamb on the grill and some chicken. Man,
yeah.
phenomenal, phenomenal.
No, it's always good to know what you put in your food too, right? So that prepackaged, I don't judge. If you do, you do. It is what it is. But there is nothing better than making your own food, right? And
Oh
seasoning
yeah,
it to the point where you want to, right? Because you get the flavors you want. You know what you're putting in there. And so I think that is the art and the fun and the joy of cooking when you cook with love and what I'm saying, you put your own flavor onto it. So going to a butcher, it's like we always talk about it, man. Things change as you get older. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're younger, you probably just grab a pack of burgers and you just throw it on the grill. But there's nothing better, even as simple as just making your own patties. You know what I'm saying? What you want to do, experiment with it. So
yes.
that's
But
that's
the
what's
the
up.
biggest adjustment is the charcoal out here that you use with the grill. Because
Mm,
there's out here in the UAE, they use like this smaller, briquettes,
mm,
and it's almost like when you're looking at them, it's like, hold on, is this what I should be putting on top of my, my shisha, my hookah? What's going on here? So
mm,
that was it was an adjustment. So I finally found the perfect technique, for lighting the coals. So I still, grab the jumbo, lump charcoal. As I get that as like my starter. So I heat that up in the starter, get that going. Throw that on the grill, and then I sprinkle, the local briquettes, which is natural, on top of those because once those things get going, it's like they're burning for like an hour and a half. Just pure heat.
mm.
But starting them, is you can't put them in the starter, because they're so small they be falling through the cracks. But I've got that thing down to a science now, man. So I'm definitely excited to swing back past the butcher shop and even go down to the fish market. 'Cause the fish market
Mm,
is just like it's like the wharf in DC on steroids.
mm. I remember you
It's like
saying
a
that.
Home Depot slash Costco size warehouse, and it's just full of individuals that have different stalls with seafood in there. Your fish, your prawns, your lobster, your calamari, just everything under the sun. So definitely in the right place, for cooking fresh. They talk about farm to table and things of that nature, man. It gets no closer than that. But the downside is, it's starting to heat up out here. So them afternoon barbecues turn into late evening barbecues. Nighttime grilling. Because now the
Mm.
temperature is about 90 degrees at night, so it's not so bad standing by a hot grill. But definitely glad that that grill made the trip across the water, man.
There you go. There you go. That's big. That's big. That's big. That's big. So, what do you more of a charcoal or gas grill person?
I like them both, because the grill I have, it has a side for gas and it has a side for the charcoal. But what I found here is that getting the propane, is not as easy, as it was back home. Back home, you go to any gas station, any grocery store,
Yeah.
and just, swap it out. I mean, here you got to call
Uh,
somebody, you got to come fill it up. It's a process. And that whole thing about, leaving the propane outside, that's 130 degrees. Just something
yeah.
just doesn't sit well with me with having a mini propane tank, outside in the yard and it's 1,000 degrees outside.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real. They say you shouldn't even bring it in the house type of thing. So it does put you in an interesting predicament. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, yeah. So
I'm
I'll
with you on
probably
that.
save the propane cooking for the winter time when it's like a high of 85 degrees outside. But during the summer, it'll probably be just strictly charcoal.
Sounds rough. Sounds like a rough time. I hear you.
I mean,
Nah, but I hear.
it's a process because the benefit of having that gas grill is if you want to cook something quick, you go outside, you turn it on, you grill it. But with charcoal, it's like, once you light it, you don't want to light the charcoal to go outside and make one steak or, two burgers.
Mm,
So you end up, throwing probably more in there than you anticipated. But now you
yeah.
just have, more protein for the week, just throw a little side salad, some sides with it and,
Yeah.
rock that way, So it's an adjustment, but,
Mm.
I'm not going to complain, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I was talking about 85 degrees in the wintertime, so I hear you. But you know what I'm saying? It's a whole other conversation. But I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, 85 degrees out here and 80 degrees, that's when you put your scully on, your long sleeves, because, that temperature swing is different, because your body gets acclimated. So, I mean, just think,
Yeah,
we're at home, it's, let's say during the summer, it's 100 degrees. And if it drops down to like 60 degrees at night, it's like you're cold, you're freezing.
yeah, that's real.
So it's
That's
it's
real.
that same shift because when I first got here, I was thinking, oh man, 80 degrees, this ain't nothing. Just I'm outside still with shorts on, and I can kind of understand. I haven't fully acclimated there yet, but maybe after summer passes, I'll be more of a local and throw my boots on, and I don't think we're gonna get so far as a bubble coat or anything like that, but
Yeah.
I know we'll see, man. But talking about changes, man. One of the things that I came across and we had briefly mentioned is this whole aspect of dating, now and how the
Yeah.
game has changed. And,
Yeah.
the big question is, why do folks fear rejection?
Mm,
And, shooting your shot and things of that nature, because it seems like, social media has been both a gift and a curse because it allows people to, in a sense, shoot their shot more freely because, you can kind of do things under the cover of darkness. If you send a DM, now there is a slight chance that DM may get screenshotted and put into a group text or something along those lines. But,
fact.
I mean, why do you think that folks, fear rejection these days? Do you think things have changed to the point where rejection has, that fear is at an all-time high or higher than what it was when we were coming up?
I don't know. I think to start off with that, I think everybody wants to succeed in their own way, right? And fear. I've always felt that fear is a controlling mechanism. It's a mind state that controls for you not to achieve that certain success if you have that fear of failing, right, or rejection.
Okay.
And I think Instagram has, or social media has gotten to a point to where we see a lot of people's successes, right, in the good
All right.
moments. Usually something's happening when someone disappears from social media, especially if they heavy social media person. They disappear for a minute, whether whatever may have been happening, but something's happening. They're working on something. It could be some great stuff they're working on, but they're going through the actions of getting to that, of that shiny picture, that picture moment or postable moment, right? But when people talk about fear of rejection, I think people, psych themselves out, and inside they may want to, but they may not just have that courage, right, to shoot that shot. And I think because no one wants to be rejected. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you feeling yourself and you like, all right, bet. You just you're like, all right, you gotta talk yourself into it. You gotta do whatever. I mean, there's some folks out here just be like, fuck it, I'm about to shoot. Right?
Yeah.
I'm shooting my shot. I got one chance, one opportunity, and if it fails, it fails. So I think it just varies on what that person is and how it is, and maybe get them out of their comfort zone. Because maybe they're used to succeeding all the time. And that first time of rejection, because we've all been rejected once. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
And it can be a stinger at times.
No, I mean I agree with you. I mean I see. Fear can go both ways.
Yeah,
Fear can be a motivator,
yeah,
or fear can be a hindrance.
yeah.
Because some things where you have that fear and it's like, all right, and when you overcome it, it's like that feeling is rewarding.
Right.
And then when you give in to it, then that feeling is like it's I don't even want to say unrewarding because I don't even know if that's a word, but it's the exact opposite. So if you allow that fear to take over, then that you know just the feeling afterwards, you feel defeated.
Defeated. That's a motherfucker right there.
Yeah,
No one wants to be defeated. You know what I'm saying? We all got that competition, that competitive bone in our body. We all
exactly.
wanna. We all want that
Uh,
dub. You know what I'm saying?
so if you're gonna feel defeated by letting the fear win, what is the difference in shooting your shot and getting defeated? Because at least you tried, and at least you can learn from it. You can, well, maybe I shouldn't take this approach or that approach, or maybe next time around, I'll do things a little different. But I mean, you can learn from that. But if
Mm-hmm.
you sit there and continue to run from it, I mean, you may miss out on great opportunities. And I think that social media, in particular, that a lot of folks, take advantage of that because I mean, back in the day, if you wanted to holler at somebody, it was no DMs, and I'm going back to like the grade school days and even, early in high school before, text messages took off. When you had to pass a note to somebody, and 9 times out of 10, that individual was not sitting right beside you. That note had to change several different hands,
Facts. Facts. We've
before
all
it,
been
it,
there.
it reached its intended target.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it was a chance you could be exposed. Somebody could open that note like, "Hey, that's not for you." Oh, I thought it was for me, and now they know your business. Which is,
Yeah.
the passing of the note was actually the first DM.
Facts. 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 Facts.
Before screenshots and group text. But I think that folks were more adventurous, and some instances I see where social media today, folks do have like an air of confidence
Mm-hmm.
where because they don't have all the eyes on them, they feel a little bit more confident, putting themselves out there and going that route. But it just seems like it also can be the extreme, where
Yeah.
especially from a female's perspective of me talking to female friends of the dudes who constantly hit them up in their DMs. I mean, it can be overwhelming, overbearing, and it can get downright disrespectful because at the same time, folks will say things on social media they won't say to your face. And that's the gift
Yeah.
and curse of it, because a lot of people do things because they're little to no consequence.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's when you have that blanket, you know what I'm saying? It goes into, you said, that confidence. I don't know. I think it's a dicey line between the confidence and then your pride.
Hmm.
Put your pride to the side and be like, all right, well, I just learned from it, or whatever that may be. But when you got your pride involved, and all of a sudden your pride gets hurt because you shot your shot, and you know, whoever you shot your shot at just wasn't really feeling you. You be like, damn, I'm on my A game, right? And that just shoots it down.
Yeah,
That makes you maybe go back into your shell. You know what I'm saying? There's something like that, but you know, you just never know. And like they say, it's always a no if you never ask.
exactly, exactly. Because it's crazy because and we all have that one buddy, and I say buddy because I'm not trying to be gender specific, but they
No.
will shoot their shot at anything. They always say
Mm-hmm.
a shooter has no conscience. It's like basketball. Taking back to sports.
No.
You shoot this shot, you miss. You shooting again. You're gonna keep shooting until you hit. You're not gonna get discouraged and miss that shot and go sit on the bench. But again, we talk about like the extremes because
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some folks. I'm like, all right, dog, you gotta slow down, man, because you're just shooting at anything. You're not shooting for the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You're just out here just putting up, all kind of shots, and you're bricking. You're shooting air balls. But again, that person has that mentality where, hey, I'm gonna do me, and I appreciate the confidence because sometimes it can be that overconfidence.
Yeah, no, that's real. But like you said, you know, you shoot 100 times. I mean, you bound to land at least 20 of them. You know what I'm saying? The probability you not landing at least 20, you know, that's a slim chance. You know what I'm saying? So one out
Yeah,
of five, however you want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a bad percentage. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get your numbers up, but at the same time,
yeah,
it's like I said, it's always a no if you don't ask. It's always an air ball if you don't shoot, or you know what I'm saying. You can't do nothing. You just so
nah, and mathematically speaking, I mean, it sounds like you just inadvertently used that 80-20 principle, man. So I mean
you know.
that warms my soul, man.
There you go. There you go. You know what I'm saying? I love how y'all see how we did the number game. So we're good with that. But yeah, man. I mean, like I said, it's one out of five. You know, the 80-20, however you want to call it. It's there's still that opportunity there. So why shy away from it? And rejection is one of those things that where it's going to happen, and you have to appreciate it. You got to respect it, and you got, like you said, you know, on to the next, right?
Exactly, exactly. You got to learn from it, but I can definitely say one thing with an air of confidence that I am glad that I came up in the time when I came up because this whole social media dating, I mean, this is really a slippery slope, man. And
It's a scary world out here, man. There's some wild people and over there. And sometimes you don't even know if that's the real person. That's the scary part, right?
exactly,
So it's you know it's. I mean, we talk about taking that shot, right? Maybe it could be a calculated risk, right? If you peep, you know what I'm saying, eye gazing and whatever type of thing, you know what I'm saying, you feel that vibe, then you know what I'm saying, that could be your educated, right? But like you said, if you're
yeah,
just shooting everything, you putting up numbers because you just, you know, it's only but so many chances you're not going to hit, you know what I'm saying? So,
exactly, exactly. And it's funny, man, because my time working, in nightlife.
yeah.
Sitting at the bar smoking my hookah. It's like, you see so many different things and just watching, how people, don't exchange numbers anymore. It's like, hey, what's your IG? What's your Facebook? And I'm just like, wow, I mean, 'cause back in the day, you
Yeah.
asked somebody for the number, it was a house number, and then it transitioned to, the cell phones. And you could still kind of like, walk the line of, okay, let me, get to know this person and, see if things are going to go further. I mean, now, you exchanging socials and it's like right off the break, this stranger just has access to kind of like your whole life because, you may have, kids on there, you may have family members on there, you don't know people. So it's like, it's just different. And, I'm not knocking it. I understand, that things evolve and things change. And one of the things that I see has been the biggest hindrance for folks as they get older is, some folks are still using the playbooks from the 90s and the early 2000s and, trying to apply that, 2022. And it's like the game has changed. You got to, change your methods to go along with it. I mean, if you're stuck in your ways of how things used to be and what you used to do, it's like you're gonna put a lot more stress and unnecessary pressure and just friction and whatever it is you're trying to accomplish out there.
Yeah. Now, I mean, but back in the day, it was cool though. It was sweet back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes old tricks are good icebreakers, right? You know what I'm saying? Just a quick tip. You know what I mean? Say maybe you go out there and you do try to, shoot your shot and use a pen and paper. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it could be, sometimes it can be that icebreaker. You just never know. You try your different tricks. You maybe have to pull, some tricks out that bag, and it just may work.
Yeah, you
But
never know.
it's always a no. But also rejection can hurt, right? It makes me think, right? Where I think there's different forms and levels of rejection too, right? It's just whether simple no, what I'm saying, in various relationships, whether it's work, friends, whatever that is, somebody rejects your idea, it can hurt. Or what I'm saying, getting deeper, like when you get into like relationships, right? And
Yeah,
you pass, you mentioned dating earlier, but my perspective now, you pass dating and you kind of been common law marriage type of situation. Do you think it's a form of rejection if if one person is feeling more about the relationship and taking it to the next level than the next person? You think that's a form of rejection, and do you think that can play a part in one's conscience?
I think it all goes back to that communication and people being upfront with what their intentions are.
Yeah,
Because some folks, marriage is not the end game. They say marriage isn't for everybody, and it's true. I
yeah,
mean, back in the day, societal norms were, you go to school, you graduate, you get a job, you get married, you get a house, you get a dog, you have kids, and that's not the blueprint for everybody. And I think that when you try to, pigeonhole people, into those societal norms, then that's when, issues arise. And again, if a person tells you that, hey, I'm not looking for marriage, and you think that, that you've been with them, for X amount of years, that you're gonna be able to change this person and they're gonna come around, then I mean, you're setting yourself up, for failure. So
yeah.
you really can't be mad at anybody but yourself if that person was
Facts,
upfront and told you that. Now, if they
facts.
didn't tell you that, then kind of shame on the other person. But I think that spins into a lot of the shows that we're seeing on TV, like the ultimatum, and put a ring on it and things like that, because it seems like those shows are starting to, I won't say blossom, but we're seeing more of them. And it's interesting just watching that from the couch of different people's situations and perspectives, and what you can take from that and learn from that. But
Yeah,
again, you got to have that hard conversation, and whatever that person gives you, it's up to you to decide of what you're going to do with that. If a person says that kids aren't for me or marriage isn't for me, and you're with that person, then you made the decision that kids aren't for you and marriage isn't for you.
yeah,
You can't be upset.
yeah. And I feel you, and I think that can get pretty nasty too. Like you can get, cause just because the person may not want to marry you, what I'm saying, they can be really into you. They could love you and do the whole shebang. It just may be the thought or the the premise behind of what marriage you know, means or consists to the individual, I think that
Yeah,
can play a factor. Or even some stuff from the past. I think stuff from the past can play a part in that. Stuff that you may have seen, and you're like, I don't want to go through that, so I'm gonna put that that shield over me. and not get to that level. But just maybe just be in tune, just in tune with that person, and say, you know what, we ain't gotta get married. We can just be life partners, and you go about and you live everyday life. Not everyone needs to be in your business anyway. What works for you
I agree.
is good. It may not be for the next person. But I
Yeah,
think having that communication and talking about it is definitely key because, you don't want to keep giving folks pipe dreams and, what I'm saying, giving the dream works and all that. And plus it's going to hurt you inside too
yeah,
because
exactly.
the person you're with or whatever is not happy or you're not happy because you're in a situation. But again, you're not sure you can move, you can figure it out. You have that decision now, but you at least talked about it.
Yeah,
And you gave that person an option as to, look, this is where I'm at. You can either ride with me or keep it moving.
yeah, and you said something earlier, about like common law marriages and things of that nature. I mean, you definitely got to watch, the states you're living in and what their rules are, because there's a lot of laws that are still in the books that have been out there for 100 plus years where they're not spoken about or talked about as frequently, and depending upon where you are and you're living with someone, I mean, that could have certain financial impacts and things of that nature if you all decide to go your separate ways. So definitely be knowledgeable of that, because I know a couple of individuals who have been together 30 plus 40 plus years,
Yeah.
and they're not married and they're life partners and they're content because that's what they wanted to do. But then there's a flip side to that of course, with being married, there's certain entitlements that are afforded to you.
Yeah.
Not to get too deep, but if your partner passes away, then any benefits or retirements or beneficiaries and things of that nature, or money in the bank for burial expenses, that stuff may not flow your way because technically you all aren't married.
Yeah.
So it can, there's a flip side to that coin, but just whatever you're doing, make sure you know the ins and outs of it and you're content with however things play out.
Yeah, it's funny you say that too, because I was thinking about that, right? I've been thinking about, like, all right, the difference between life partner and marriage. Is it a piece of paper? Is it a piece of jewelry? Whatever it is a tattoo on the finger, who knows, right? But my question is it if one of the big things are, if you pass, what's going to happen? If y'all have kids, what's going to happen to my assets? Whatever's going to happen, But I think if you like you said, if you communicate and figure out what both end goals are,
Yeah,
right? Even from a life partner, you can put certain documents in place,
exactly.
right? And you may not have that thing, but there is a notarized document with a witness on it and saying this is where it goes, but it's proper planning, right? It's that communication, it's talking about it and figuring out what everybody wants in this situation.
I agree. I
So
agree. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, folks, you know, do you be happy? Live your life. Don't try to live up to
mm,
everyone else's standards. I mean, do whatever makes you happy. But at the same time, with every situation, there's good and bad. I mean, with marriage, there's good and bad. With life partners, there's
yeah,
good and bad. But being single, there's good and bad. Just be mindful that the decision you make, be content with the outcome.
yeah. I think that's the biggest thing, and I think even that ties in the boat, right? In marriage and in life partners and taking your shot. You know what I'm saying? Just know whatever decision you do end up making, like that's you make your bed, lay in it, you'll be all right. You figure it out, right? And
Yeah,
as someone once told me, you think about whatever the worst situation you ever been in and how that was now the past, and going through something else. So rejections aren't bad. You know what I'm saying?
nah,
rejections aren't bad, and but just communicating that out.
Exactly, man. Hey, but before we get out of here this week, man, anything else you want to get off your chest? Anything else on your mind?
Nah, man, just let motherfuckers be happy, and just be out here and just live your life. Take that shot. That opportunity, like they say. When one door closes, another door opens. So it's whatever situation that is. You gotta live for that moment and just live, be in the present. Just do it.
Man, I agree, man. My only thing would be, keep folks out your business. You know what I mean? What happens in your house stays in your house. I mean? Social media in the world does not need to know every single thing going on with
you. Yeah,
you.
man. So
Some things need to be in that little fifth pocket. In your jeans on the right hand side, the little small pocket that really has no good purpose unless you put some hookah tips in there. Keep that right there in that pocket.
facts. That's real right there. That's real.
No, it's not for everybody. But anything else you got? What's going on? For the weekend, or you just keep it pretty chill.
Keeping it chill, man. Just keeping it chill. We got line up some great guests. Continue with the good guests. The conversations and just grooving out here, just chilling. As you can see, I'm on my hippie vibe today. So we out here cooling.
I feel you, man. Not too much on this side. More of the same. Pretty chill weekend. Get ready for next week, and we'll see what happens there. But you're right though. We do have some great guests lined up to come on here and drop some gems. And I think all the feedback we gotten from our previous guests it's been phenomenal. So we're definitely going to keep that going. But before we head out of here, once again, shout out to Shisha to you. Don't forget you can follow them on IG. You can keep up with us on Twitter at In the Bowl Pod. We talked on some things about shooting your shot. I mean, if you have opinion on that topic, or common law marriages and life partners, things of that nature. Definitely hit us up in the comments. Let us know your thoughts. Let's keep that conversation going, because again, it comes down to communication and not trying to fit into the box along with everybody else. And last but not least, don't forget to keep those hookahs clean after every use. Rinse them out, clean them out, flush them out. Make sure that they are ready and good to go. Do not treat your hookah bowl like a cast iron skillet. You may smoke a flavor today that's nice and fruity. You may have something else on the back end where you set up your next hookah, and now you got that ghosting. You're tasting that, grapefruit mint. You're sitting here, trying to enjoy some blueberry. Let's not treat it like a cast iron skillet. So keep those clean.
There you go.
And until next week, we'll do this all over again.
And as always, click, like, and subscribe.